Welcome into Chicago Bears Now. I'm your host, Harrison Graham. The Bears have an off day at training camp today at Halas Hall. No practice, no media access. So, on today's show, I'm going to take a look at an updated list of training camp winners and losers, 10 players in total before they resume practice tomorrow. So, we'll get to that in just a second. But first, if you want a shout out on tomorrow's show, Friday's episode, give us a follow on the Call-In app. I know exactly how many subscribers we have over there. Go subscribe right now. It's free. Everyone that subscribes over there between this moment and tomorrow's video will get a shout out on tomorrow's show. The Call-In app, audio social podcasting app. We've been going live every single week after our YouTube and Rumble stream on Tuesdays. And next Saturday, after the Bears versus Chiefs preseason game, we're going to go live with a live post-game show. And if it does well enough, we'll do that throughout the season as well. So go subscribe at chatsports.com/BearsCallin. Download the app first as well, iOS and Android. It's available at both app stores, regardless of what phone you have. All right, let's get into some camp winners and losers. And I'm not going to do all winners at once, all losers at once. I'm going to keep you guys on your toes here. We'll actually start with a loser here. And I think the biggest storyline of training camp continues to be Teven Jenkins and his absence, as he has missed the last 6 practices at training camp after being there for the first practice. Eberflus keeps saying the same thing, that he's, quote, working with the trainers, close quote. Trade rumors are continuing to circulate from multiple reports saying the Bears are taking calls on Jenkins and looking to move him potentially. I simply have very low hopes for Jenkins at this point. We outlined that on a video yesterday morning, our first of 2 videos on Wednesday, basically saying that it's kind of amazing how quickly this has gone from, oh my God, they got a first-round talent in the second round, to he most likely will not be a part of this team moving forward. Doesn't mean that's going to happen for sure. Things can change, but based on the tea leaves that are out there right now, it's not looking good for him. And for a guy that you thought at minimum would compete for a starting job, he's not even out there and might get traded. Yeah, he's a training camp loser at this point in time. Will Teven Jenkins get traded? We'll keep asking this question. Type T for trade or type K for keep. He won't. He's going to stay with Chicago. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section. Next up, we'll go to a winner. That is rookie cornerback Kyler Gordon. Kyler Gordon, who is really impressing early on. The athleticism is jumping off the tape. And I think what's most impressive, and I think which is why he's a winner, is he's getting reps at outside corner and nickel as a rookie. What does that tell you? Well, it tells me that this Bears coaching staff trusts him. You would not put a rookie at multiple positions right away unless you thought he was capable of doing the job. And we continue to talk about and hear about how important that nickel spot is in Eberflus's scheme. And I think that's why he's getting reps there, because they feel like he can handle it, and they feel like he's a guy that is mature enough and capable enough of moving around in this secondary. He's a clear winner. He's a day one starter. Okay, fellow rookie, Jaquan Brisker. He is also a Chicago Bears training camp winner up to this point. They got his rookie contract signed the night before camp began, and he's really hit the ground running. He's been fantastic. He's been one of the best overall players, period, at training camp. Not just rookies, overall players. I'd say he's been a top 5-6 player at camp up to this point, which is very impressive, because even though this is a young team, the Bears do have some vets like the Robert Quinns of the world, Darnell Mooney's, who have been there. He's up there with those guys. He's performed that well. He's making plays on the football. He's emerging as a leader on this defense. The 2 picks the Bears made in the second round, at the time, people were like, why are you not going offense? Jaquan Brisker, Kyler Gordon, they're going to have an impact right away, and that is what you want when you're picking in the second round. Now, who do you think is going to have the better rookie year in Chicago? Type KG for Kyler Gordon, type JB for Jaquan Brisker. Predict it for us in the comments. Who will have the better rookie year? Now, I'm sure you guys have been waiting for my updated thoughts on Justin Fields' performance so far at training camp. Curveball, neutral. He's kind of in the middle right now. He's had some good days. Certain days I'd call him a camp winner. He's had some bad days. I'd call him a camp loser on certain days. Overall, I'm going to put him in that neutral category. He's been up and down up to this point in time, which shouldn't be that shocking, right? I think things are starting to slowly come more together compared to where they were earlier in the offseason. We got to remember this is still a first-year system for him, second year in the league. He's still a very, very young player, moving parts on the offense around him as well. He's had some really good moments and some not-so-good moments. That's why he's in the middle. I'm going to throw him in that yellow category. Here's what we know. He always bounces back. When he has a bad day or a bad session at practice, he tends to bounce back at the next opportunity, and that's really good. You need that short-term memory as a quarterback. Got to move to the next play. Got to move to the next practice, next game, etc. He's really good at that. He's got that good mindset. But we want to see more consistency, stack 2 or 3 good days before having a bad day, etc. So hopefully he continues to build. I thought yesterday was a good step in the right direction after a not-so-good Tuesday. We'll see how he comes out on Friday. All right, Braxton Jones. He's a winner. He is definitely a winner, the 5th-round rookie out of Southern Utah. Up to this point, one of the biggest winners and really an off-season winner. Gets drafted in the 5th round. No one's heard of the kid. I was under-recruited in college. We did a whole video on his journey, and he's taken all the first-team reps at left tackle through 2 padded practices. That's pretty significant, guys. I mean, at this point, you got to feel like there's a really good chance that Jones is the week 1 starting left tackle. Now, I think preseason games for him, I'd say he's in the top 5 most important players in preseason to see how he does in live action against other teams. Like, if he holds his own, probably going to start week 1 at left tackle. If not, Riley Reif might be over there, and then Larry Borom could be at right tackle. But I think the Bears are more comfortable with where Jones is at as a young player compared to Borom. So with Reif's versatility to play left or right, Jones has been getting the reps at left tackle. Reif, the last couple of practices, has been the primary snap getter at right tackle, with Borom getting some first-team reps as well. But I think, obviously, the veteran Reif is going to start for this team somewhere. So this is kind of how the offensive line sits right now. Obviously, Lucas Patrick is injured with Doug Kramer and Sam Mustipher rotating in. But you're starting to things potentially come together here. And for Braxton Jones, you got to feel pretty good about where he's at. And if they found a starting left tackle in the 5th round, that's a damn good first draft for Ryan Poles. All right, if you love the Bears, we are the channel for you. We got 5 more winners and losers to break down in just a moment. But if you want more daily content, the latest news and rumors, training camp updates, game previews, we'll probably do a preseason game preview, and our live watch party for the first preseason game as well. You know what to do. Subscribe, turn on notifications. We're approaching 50,000 subscribers very, very quickly. Help us get there before week 1. Okay, let's get to some more winners and losers. We'll start with another loser here. Thomas Graham Jr., the second-year corner, not based on performance, kind of like Teven Jenkins, but for a different reason. He just hasn't been able to practice. Jenkins, we don't really know if he's hurt or not. Maybe he is, but I think we all know something's going on there. With Thomas Graham Jr. dealing with the soft tissue hamstring injury, so they're having to be cautious. Eberflus called him kind of week to week earlier this week, so you're hopeful maybe he gets back out there next week. Hopefully he's ready to go before the second preseason game. I'd be surprised at this point if he played next Saturday against the Chiefs. They don't want to mess with the soft tissue. But him missing practices, he's falling behind in the corner competition, which is pretty hot and heavy. A lot of guys moving around. Really the only thing for sure is that Jalen Johnson is going to be your number 1 outside starting corner. We know that's set in stone. That is a fact. Now, we also know that Kyler Gordon will start, barring an injury or just a disastrous rest of camp. Like I said, he's been impressive so far. The question is, will he be CB2, your other outside corner, or nickel, where he's been getting some reps as well? If he starts on the outside, I expect Tavon Young to plug in there. If not, CB2 could be an interesting position to watch. Stay tuned toward the end of the video. All right, Velus Jones Jr. as we keep going here. Like Justin Fields, I'll throw him in the neutral category. I'd say more good than not good, but you know, he's a young rookie receiver, right? Like I say young, he is a 24-year-old rookie, but you know, receivers as rookies, there's good moments, there's not so good moments. I think it's a position where you can have an impact right away, especially nowadays, but he's still refining things as a route runner. He certainly has shown some flashes in terms of just footwork, being able to burn guys, of course. But he's had some drops. You know, there's been a time or two when he hasn't been able to generate separation. There's going to be some up and down play here, but I certainly expect him to make enough plays to see the field early for Chicago. He also looks like the favorite to be this team's punt returner. So overall, definitely a positive, but, you know, some things that he certainly still needs to work and improve on. Predict it for us. Fill in the blank. Velus Jones will have blank touchdowns this season. I think I said it earlier in the offseason. Like, if he gave you like 4 touchdowns, 5 total, maybe 3 on offense, 1 on special teams, that'd be pretty solid for a third-round rookie. Let me know what you guys think. Velus Jones will have blank touchdowns this season. Let's get to another winner, really probably the oldest guy here up to this point. Not that al-Quadin Muhammad is old, but he is a vet. Definitely a winner after missing most of the offseason program, rehab and an injury. He's come in and he's looked really good. He's looked really good. He's been able to generate pretty consistent pressure throughout training camp. He just looks like a guy who knows how to rush the passer, and that's kind of what he does, right? I think we might look back at the end of this year and say, that was the Bears' best value signing. Maybe Lucas Patrick at center ends up being that, but to get al-Quadin Muhammad, I think 2 years, $10 million, 2 years, $12 million, something like that. That's something that you can feel really good about, I think, for this Bears football team. And I said it a couple weeks ago. I'll say it again. The trio of Muhammad, Robert Quinn, and Trevis Gipson as a potential 3-punch at the pass rusher spot, that is going to be very dynamic. We heard from Muhammad the other day. He's a vet, but you can tell he's still humble, knows the Eberflus system well. What will be interesting to see is who are the 2 starting defensive ends? Will it be Quinn and Muhammad? Will it be Trevis Gipson? Could all 3 start in some different types of situations depending on what they do on that 4-man front? That is something to monitor moving forward. So al-Quadin Muhammad, a clear winner up to this point. Tajae Sharpe, kind of like Thomas Graham, he's a loser, but mostly because he hasn't been able to practice. Just got off the non-football injury list. You know, when they signed him, I was like, okay, this probably be like your number 4, number 5 receiver, but you start looking at this now, and you're like, things are getting a little bit crowded, and Tajae Sharpe better hit the ground running coming off the NFI. I mean, I think at this point, I feel good about these 4 guys making it. Darnell Mooney, Byron Pringle, Equinemius St. Brown has had a strong camp. Mooney and St. Brown could easily be winners on this video. Just wanted to get some different names in there. Velus Jones, he's obviously going to make the team as a 3rd-round rookie. And then you got N'Keal Harry, Daz Newsome, David Moore, Tajae Sharpe, Dante Pettis. I'd say 2 of those 5 probably make this team. So Sharpe is going to have to come in here in a crowded wide receiver room and stand out. He really is going to have to make some plays to make this roster. So keep an eye on that. Hopefully he practices Friday and starts to get into the mix. All right, the last winner might surprise you, but we got to give credit where it's due. Kindle Vildor, who's had a tough start to his career. He has starting experience, which I've pointed to before as a positive for him, but he has struggled quite a bit. Did last year when he earned the starting job out of training camp, but he's getting pretty consistent reps with the starters, especially when Kyler Gordon is playing nickel. He's that other outside corner. Like it or not, Vildor might have a role on this team. I think at minimum he's CB4 right now, especially with Thomas Graham having not practiced during training camp. So a lot of moving parts still. When Graham gets back in the mix, I'll be curious to see if that's strictly nickel or potentially outside corner. But if they value nickel the way they say they do, they might put Gordon at that spot, which means CB2 would probably go to Kindle Vildor because Tavon Young is not an outside corner. He's strictly a nickel guy. Duke Shelley is pretty much just a nickel as well. I think Vildor's going to be that other guy. I will say this. Larry Meyer, who covers the Bears for the team website, says he's the most improved player at camp. I think that's pretty significant. So if he becomes just a decent player, then that's obviously a huge upgrade from what he was in the past couple of years. All right, there you go. Some Bears training camp winners and losers. As wanted to give you an updated kind of look at things with today being an off day at Halas Hall. It is roll call time. You guys know what to do. The real ones do, at least. If you're a real one, you've already typed FGB in the comments. But another chance here. If you made it to the end of the show, get the FGBs rolling, and we'll see you next time here on Bears Now.